Hello everyone, Honey Tiger here and welcome back to the channel, and today we are continuing my series of War Thunder 101, and today's little show and tell is controls. The most important thing in this game is controls. I have my own control setup which I will now walk you through. You can use us as a reference or you can make your own. It's entirely up to you, and each player will have their own preference. Thank you, crew, for that. But let's get underway and show you my controls, or part of the controls. As you can see, I've got my SMK as one of the standings of showing you what controls I have. Of course, I'm holding C, and I can look around without worrying about the turrets moving around, which is a very useful key. So if you're behind the wall and you're like, oh, there's an enemy over there, I don't want to show off my armor or whatever, then I can push and hold C on my keyboard, and it will basically hold those turrets wherever they were. I got my W and S for going backwards and forwards. A and D is for going left and right, of course. And of course, as you can see, I've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. Because this has 2 turrets. Of course, I've got my left key, which is the primary weapon, which is the main turret. But you like, hang on, that's not like that in my game. Both turrets shoot. Exactly. I have a separate and own personal key bindings. So if I push my left click button on my mouse, it will fire the main cannon. But if I push my right, oh, sorry about that. Had a little excuse me. Oh, I sneezed then. Oh, my left key, as I was saying, is the primary weapon. If I right click on my mouse, it will fire the secondary turret, as you can see. So I could fire one turret at a time if I wish. So I could use my secondary to take out his tracks, and the primary to take him out. Typical Russians. And of course, spacebar is this machine guns. Other vehicles will have missiles, and I will show you that. But there are other key bindings that you can use for double turret vehicles or vehicles with 2 guns. So if on Q and E, I have a binding where I can select between these turrets. If I push Q and aim left, the front one will turn by itself, which is very cool. And if I push my left key, it will fire, because that's now the primary. If I click my right button on my mouse, as you can see, it doesn't work because it's now the primary weapon. So if I left click again, it works. And if I press Q or E, it will select both turrets again. And if I push Q again, it will now select the top turret only. And if I push E again, it will go back to the top one, and E again, then both are back with the machine gun. So that can be very useful too, if you in a certain scenario where that will help. I'm gonna go into another vehicle. Another vehicle which has missiles. So if I go up to my BMP, which has missiles, let's kind of sit here very so I can rearm. As you can see, at the bottom here, my missiles are on this sideways key, which is next to Z on your keyboard. So if I push that one, and it will fire missiles. This is very good. As you can see, the sight in my BMP is different from my SMK. You can have your own different sights for different vehicles. If you go on to options, ground vehicle settings, then up the top here you have sight settings. If you click that, you can go through the entire tech tree and select what vehicle, what rank. Then you can go over here and select whatever you like. That's here. There's not that many, but I hope that War Thunder will add more into the future. And you can like change your reticle where these are. So I can move this over here, or move that here. Then that will just stay there. Once you've finished, unhappy, you push save, and you go back, and you can see it's now how it is. This is very cool. So you can like go fire, 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 and whatever. Oh, I love this tank. It's so fun. But anyway, that is a very useful thing to do, which so you can like change. My right control, which is under shift, is for laser range finding or ranging your cannons, which is very useful. And as you can see, this vehicle also has a drone. If I push U and Alt, it will launch the drone. If I push H, I will put it into an altitude. As you can see, you can change the altitude and also the direction of the radius. So that's very good. Also, the diagonal key is also for spotting. Oh, no, that's not good. Designate a target. So if you're just going around there, like, oh look, there's someone there, then you can just click on them like this, and it will show up on the map. So other people go, ah, there's someone there. This is very cool. And if I push V, it also has a control, a camera, so I can just do that, and it will basically stay there. As you can see, this is a sight stabilization, so this can stabilize. If I just aim it, it will just stay there. It's so nice, these controls that I have. And Y is more detailed multi-function menu, which is very useful to change. And if V to go back, yeah, the V key is to go through different controls for aeroplanes for me. And to go back, I'll push Alt and U, and I'm back. And this will now, where is it? Oh, there he is. He will now fly around by itself. Oh, it should do. Yeah, he should hopefully fly around by himself. But yeah, that is very useful. My G key is for smokes, grenades. H is for ESS. My F key, oh, as you can see, I get distracted by different things. As you can see, there's a marker to say, look, there's someone over here. That's a new thing they've added recently. I don't remember that last time. But yeah, the drone is very useful for that. You can basically, oh, there's someone over here, and you're like, yes, that I like that. I didn't even realise that was a thing. Okay, I like that. That's a cool thing. Oh yeah, I'm getting distracted again. But the 0 key is for my wrench. So if I get stuck or anything, then I can always do that. Some vehicles will have suspension, and I have separate controls for that. So I will show you my controls, and you can pause at any time, and you can use the ones I have, or make your own ones. It's entirely up to you. For my movement, as I said, it's my WSD keys. R is for cruise control to go forward. Whole aiming is X. Turning off and on engine is I. As you can see, my main caliber gun is the left key, left mouse button. The secondary guns is my right, so I can have individual ones. Of course, your machine guns is on spacebar. To fire special guns, which is missiles for me, or AGGMs on tanks like the BMP here, is the diagonal key. As you can see, this key here is to reset the weapon selection. So if you select weapons with the Q and E, you can instantly reset it. Or you can just go through Q and E's until they're back to normal. J and Alt is toggle auto target, which is very useful. I don't often use that one. So G and H, you know those ones. My weapon lock is the diagonal key for when I'm using the drone. Right control is the radar, if you have radars for vehicles. I haven't done these ones because I do it in the multifunction, because I will simply run out of keys. T and Alt is to select radar lock. Shift is to lock radar if you have a radar. Night vision is, for me, is number 0 on the number key on the right hand side of the. Well, some laptops have a number keyboard, some don't, so you might have to adjust it to how you need it. My command fire control. So if I push the enter, that's the wrong one. So if I push on the keyboard on the right hand side where your numbers are, I have next to 0 is a delete key or the dot key, and I can go to my commander control and I can control the tank from here. If I push the enter key, then I can basically control the turret from here, which is very useful. So if I want to go, I want to take him out, I can control the turret from there. This is very useful. Where was I? Yeah. Sniper mode for me is my. I have a Logitech Hero G502 SE mouse. So if I push G5, it goes into sniper mode, and if I push the mouse wheel in or out, I can zoom. G4 on my control is binoculars, and if I spin the wheel on my mouse, it will control, of course, the distance. If you want to do that, you go to controls, and it'll be here, mouse wheel, sight distance control, and you can change the multiplier if you want it to go slower or quicker on how quickly you want that multiplier. Distance control can change from going slow or fast. It depends on how you wish. I have it on like 30%, and that seems to be good for me, but you can change it to how you wish. As you can see, I've got my suspension control on my number keyboards on the right hand side of my laptop. So if you want to use that, then you can do so. As you can see, the scout, the drone is here for me, which is Alt. You Alt, target control and that sort of thing. My repair, it's F because it's right next to D, so I can easily do that. And as you can see, first type of shells, second type, third and fourth type of shells. Artillery is on 5 for me. Fire extinguisher is 6. And these are other ones which are different. Towing cable 0. Got crew replenishment on hashtag. Active scouting is on V. Then all the other ones are down here. So, Alt and E is to building objects. So if you're in a tank that has ammo boxes or the high tier SPAAs, then you can use that to build your secondary objects, so to speak. As you can see, my rangefinder is in control. If I have a custom site, is that one, but I don't often use that one, so I might take that off. My entrenching, which some vehicles have in a trenching tool, like the Centurion AVRE, which has the bulldozer thing on top of the front, so you can push T and control, and it will enable it or disable it. And of course, last but not least, excuse me, I'm losing my voice, is switch fuse control. You're thinking what that is? That exactly. I will show you what that is. I need to find. Can I use it? Or where I need to find. I will use you because some HE has different modes. As you can see, this artillery gun has a shell called HEVT, which is a variable time fuse HE shell. So if I push that key binding, as you can see, it goes from impact fuse to radio fuse. So if I put it on impact fuse, then it will explode on contact. If I push that key again, then impact fuse will come on. And if I it will go off if it goes near. As you can see, it went off. It didn't do any damage, unfortunately, because it was too far off. But as you can see, it goes off when it's near something, but if I push it back to impact fuse, it will explode on impact. So that key binding is very useful for changing it. Hopefully you found it is very useful and you can use these controls as well if you so wish, or make your own, because everyone has their own preferences. If you enjoyed this, then please leave me a like, maybe a comment. Maybe do you want me to do more of these controls, like for the aeroplanes or the boaty boys or the helicopters? Let me know in the comments if you want to see that. And while you're down there, make sure you subscribe. It's completely free and it will let you know when I upload next. Until next time. Ta-ta for now. Oh, that was a good shot.